Hey guys, today I have a very special video for you and I'm going to show you 10 of the most opulent and luxurious fragrances that were ever made. And I'm talking about the 10 fragrances from the signature collection of Hauts of Sillage. If you're a regular to my channel, you know how much I love fragrances and you know how much I love Hauts of Sillage, so this video is a dream come true for me. Since I'm going to be reviewing 10 fragrances in this video, make sure to check out the description box if you don't want to watch the whole video, or if you're only interested in a single fragrance or a few fragrances, make sure to check out the description box. I'm going to have timestamps so that you can easily navigate through this video and go to the part of the video that you want to watch. This video is a dream come true for me. I wanted to do this video for such a long time. I wanted to review Hauts of Sillage fragrances, and finally I can do that thanks to Hauts of Sillage, who were very kind to send me their fragrances so that I can test them, wear them and review them for you. So a huge thank you to Hauts of Sillage for allowing me to film this video. I'm beyond happy and beyond excited to film this video. If you've been following my channel for a while, you already know that I'm a fragrance lover and you already know how much I love Hauts of Sillage. I think that for every perfume collector, Hauts of Sillage is a symbol of unprecedented luxury and unparalleled elegance. And I think that it's impossible not to fall in love with their fragrances, because let's start off with the packaging. I think that we all love these gorgeous Fabergé styled bottles, and the packaging is quite impressive, but what's inside is even more impressive because the fragrances are made of the highest possible quality ingredients in the perfume industry. So that's why I think that Hauts of Sillage is kind of a phenomenon in today's fragrance industry, because I've never seen such a brand that makes everything so perfectly from start until the end. You have a little piece of jewelry on the outside, but also what's inside is equally impressive, and you have the highest possible quality parfum on the inside. All Hauts of Sillage fragrances are crafted in France from start to finish, and they're using the highest quality French glass that is made in Paris. Each of the gorgeous dome-shaped caps of the fragrances are plated in precious metals. There is yellow gold, rose gold and white gold, depending on the fragrance that you're going to choose. And also the cap is adorned with hand-placed Swarovski crystals. And each cap of the fragrances from the signature collection has 158 hand-placed diamond-cut Swarovski crystals. And you can imagine that someone is staying there for hours just to place each little crystal so that you can have a little piece of jewelry in your fragrance collection. And I think that this is something that's quite impressive. But we are going to take a closer look at the packaging a little bit later in the video as I'm showing you each of the fragrances. Now, all Hauts of Sillage fragrances come in 20 to 30% oil concentration, and this means that all of the fragrances are parfum concentration. Parfum is very different than eau de parfum. Parfum is the most precious, concentrated and long-lasting form of a fragrance. So here you can expect the best possible quality. I know that all perfume lovers already know that, but I'm saying this for the people who are not that much into fragrances. So here you're getting the best possible quality. This is the so-called extract or parfum. You only need a little bit. Last but not least, before I start reviewing each of the fragrances, I want to say that I was quite impressed when I was first researching about Hauts of Sillage a long time ago. I was quite impressed by the history of the brand, and I was quite impressed also by the founder of the brand. Her idea is to surpass the definition of luxury and to create a product that no one else has on the market. And I think that she's pretty successful. This is something that inspires me a lot about Hauts of Sillage, because each fragrance has its own story and is inspired by a certain moment, a certain experience. So it's not only making a fragrance for the sake of making a fragrance, but behind each fragrance there is a little history. So let me go ahead and start with the first fragrance, and the first fragrance that I'm going to show you is my first Hauts of Sillage fragrance, and this is Passion de l'amour. And it comes in that beautiful white box. It's very luxurious, and the unboxing of Hauts of Sillage fragrance is an unforgettable experience. I'm going to show you how the box opens. And here you have the fragrance. The presentation is excellent. And And here you have the gorgeous Fabergé styled bottle with the dome-shaped cap with 158 hand-placed Swarovski crystals. It's a true work of art. And this is the most long-lasting fragrance that I've ever tried in my entire life. Seriously, this fragrance lasts for forever on the skin. Also, this is the best unisex fragrance that I've ever tried, and usually I'm not a person who loves unisex fragrances, but this one is a winner for me. I love this fragrance. Top notes of this fragrance are raspberry and saffron. Heart notes are caramel and amorous oil, and base notes are oud and Leatrix Absolute. I must say that this is the best oud fragrance that I have because the oud here is made very soft. It's not sharp or overpowering. Usually perfumers don't do well with oud, at least in my opinion, because the oud usually gives that kind of sharpness and very, very strong. It's a very strong, overpowering note. But here the perfumer did an excellent job adding the oud because it balances the sweetness of the caramel, but it's not overpowering. It's somehow soft and seductive and adds a little bit of depth and character to the fragrance. This is an exceptionally beautiful fragrance that I love wearing during the evening. It's a very seductive fragrance. It sits close to the skin and it develops very beautifully. The notes that I get the most are caramel, vanilla mixed with a little bit of Leatrix, and it gives me that passionate, exotic vibe. And I would definitely wear this fragrance on a date when I want to be noticed. It's strong and it's confident, but at the same time it's soft and kind of vulnerable and very, very passionate. I think that it goes also with the name. And the inspiration behind this fragrance is a hot tropical night in the South Pacific. Next comes one of my favorite fragrances, and again you have the same very glorious packaging. And here we come. Love is in the air. And here again you have the most impressive packaging, the highest quality French glass crafted in Paris, the beautiful dome-shaped gold cap in white gold and 158 white Swarovski crystals. It's a pleasure just to look at this beautiful bottle, but what's inside is even more impressive. I think that this is a very playful, very joyful, bright and crisp fragrance that is a must try for anyone who is into fruity floral fragrances. I think what's unique about this fragrance here is that the opening is very bright and fresh. You might think that with the top notes of plum and blackcurrant, the opening is going to be rather sweet, but it's not actually, because at the very beginning of the fragrance, after spraying the fragrance, I can feel the jasmine, which adds that beautiful freshness and crisp feeling to the fragrance, which continues until the end. I find this fragrance to be very unique and very attractive because of the way the patchouli is done in this fragrance. The patchouli vibe here is not too dark, not too aggressive, it's not too light and herbal either. The patchouli here is done in a very bright and uplifting way, and I think that this is quite unique because with the patchouli fragrances you oftentimes have that kind of a deep, very, very dark patchouli vibe that a lot of people find to be too strong. This is the kind of patchouli that I think you're going to love, especially if you like that kind of light, girly, fresh fragrances. I think that the patchouli here adds some sophistication and balances the fragrance very, very well. The patchouli here is done in an outstanding way. And I also love the inspiration of this fragrance. It's very beautiful. I'm going to show you on the bottom of each box. You're going to be able to read also the inspiration behind the fragrance. So take a look. It's really beautiful. I think that the packaging is absolutely stunning. And each of the fragrances from the signature collection serves as a counterpart to their limited edition. And the fragrance is the same, but the packaging is different. And on the limited edition, the design is, of course, a lot more complicated. And here comes my number one. This is my favorite House of Sillage fragrance. And this is Tiara. And this is a fragrance that brings out the princess in every woman. I couldn't find a better explanation of this gorgeous fragrance. I'm gonna show you close-ups now. And this is the most beautiful, elegant, sophisticated, pure This fragrance is pure perfection. I think that this is the fragrance for a real lady, and the founder of the brand, Nicole Mother, did this fragrance to remind every woman that she is a princess and that she is beautiful. And this fragrance was inspired by a beautiful memory from the childhood of the founder of the brand, Nicole Mother. She remembers that in her childhood, she used to make her own tiara from paper, and she was wearing her mother's dress and imagining that she's a princess. So I think that every girl had that dream at a certain point of her life, and then when we grow up, we certainly forget about this dream. So Nicole Mother created this fragrance to cherish that dream and to remind every woman that she is a princess. So the top notes of this fragrance are tangerine and cinnamon, the hard notes are rose oil and peony, and the base notes are vanilla and musk. I honestly don't think that this fragrance can get any more elegant. I can feel the rose, but I don't feel the sharpness of the rose. Somehow the rose in this fragrance is done in a very creamy, very soft, very sophisticated way. I think that this is the most elegant and the most sophisticated fragrance. The rose here is so beautiful, so creamy, and surrounded by peonies and vanilla that I'm just so in love with this fragrance. I don't know, guys, this is the fragrance of my dreams. It's so beautiful and so amazing. So definitely check out this fragrance if you haven't already, or if you have already tried this fragrance, let me know in the comments below what you think, and let me know in the comments below what is your favorite House of Sillage fragrance if you have tried their fragrances. Next comes the most angelic fragrance from Hauts Bijoux, and this is Benevolence. I like to call this fragrance angelic because it gives me the sensation of pure bliss and serenity. And I have this fragrance in a beautiful travel size case, which I'm going to show you close up right now. It's absolutely gorgeous, and these are their travel size cases. And also I'm going to show you a photo of the bottle and also of the limited edition bottle, which has an angel, by the way. So this is the travel size case, one of the travel size cases from Hauts Bijoux, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I didn't expect that this was going to be so beautiful. Really, the camera is not going to show how gorgeous this is, but in real life it's absolutely gorgeous. It feels quite heavy and luxurious because this is enamel. Oh, and also there are little Swarovski crystals. Let me show you again. So here you can see the beautiful Swarovski crystals, and there is a big Swarovski crystal at the top. And then when you open it up, you have the travel size spray, and you can very easily take it out and change it with whichever fragrance you like. And I'm going to show you one more thing that I have. So right now here I have Benevolence, because we're going to review Benevolence now. And you can actually get one of these boxes. And here is the box that I have, and it contains the 10 signature fragrances from Hauts Bijoux. One is missing, and this is Benevolence, which is the one that I have right now here. And each of these fragrances is 8 ml, which is 0.27 fluid ounce. So I like to call Benevolence the angelic fragrance because it's a very sweet, soft, powdery, vanilla orange fragrance. If you like fragrances that have vanilla, definitely go ahead and try this one. I think that this is a very delightful fragrance that everyone is going to love. You have to give it a little bit of time to fully develop on your skin, but this is also one of the most long-lasting fragrances that I've tried, and one of the most beautifully developing fragrances. So the top notes in Benevolence are almond oil and bergamot. Hard notes are orange blossom and jasmine, and the base notes are vanilla and sugar. I think that the blend of this fragrance is genius because it's a very simple combination. There is nothing too extraordinary, but at the same time this is such a comforting fragrance. This is the kind of a fragrance that gives me the sensation of pure bliss. And immediately after spraying the fragrance, I can feel the vanilla, the sugar, and the bergamot, and also I can feel the almond. And the almonds here are very soft and kind of, I can feel a little bit of bitter almond probably. And on my skin this develops as the most gorgeous vanilla orangey almond fragrance. And I think that this fragrance smells expensive. This is one of my favorite fragrances from the line, definitely a winner. And to be honest, I love the simplicity of this composition. It's a sweet fragrance, but not overly sweet fragrance. It's the kind of fragrance that is going to attract people, and it's the kind of fragrance that is going to garner a lot of compliments. On my skin, it gets a little bit of a powdery note that I absolutely love. This is the kind of fragrance that is quite addictive. Next, we're moving on to another one of my favorites, and this is Cherry Garden. Cherry Garden is quite unique because you don't often see cherry used as a note in the fragrance industry. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that most perfume creators have a little bit of an issue to balance the cherry when they're doing cherry inspired fragrances. And usually most of the cherry based fragrances that we have in the market have that really kind of raw, unapologetic approach to cherries. Here with Cherry Garden, it's very different. I don't even see cherry listed in the ingredients, but immediately after spraying the fragrance, I can feel this very juicy, very well balanced, very well blended, kind of delicious, but not too much cherry scent. Here you have almond, which I think that gives that really intense cherry kind of vibe. And also you have rose and jasmine, which is a very beautiful and sophisticated and elegant combination. And then at the base you have heliotrope and musk. I think that this is a very well blended and very well balanced cherry fragrance. And I would say that even if you're not that much into cherry as a note, definitely go ahead and check out this fragrance because this is a very, very beautiful, very well balanced cherry scent. Moving on to one of the most girly and bright and beautiful fragrances from the line, and this is Hauts Bijoux. This fragrance is delicious, but not too delicious. This is the kind of a fragrance that gives me that beautiful summer vibe. It's fruity, it's delicious, it's sophisticated, it's balanced, it really is a piece of jewelry. It has mango and grapefruit and it reminds me of summer. It is the kind of fragrance that reminds me of summer so much. And the base notes are heliotrope and amber. I would say that this fragrance is so young, fresh, and kind of a flirty, girly fragrance, but in a very beautiful way. This is kind of a careless fragrance, the kind of fragrance that you're going to wear on a summer vacation, the kind of fragrance that I think is perfect for the spring, summer season. Why not also the fall season? It all depends on you. There is not really a fragrance that's suitable for a certain season as long as you like it, but I love this fragrance. It gives me that vibe of youthfulness. So this is one of my favorite fragrances. It has a little bit of grapefruit, which makes it, which adds that absolutely gorgeous citrus vibe that's going on and is balancing the fragrance. I absolutely love this fragrance. Moving on to Nouez Moi, and this is one of the most elegant, kind of a dark, warm fragrances. From the very first moment after spraying this fragrance, I have it here on a little paper, and immediately after spraying this fragrance, you can feel how strong and how elegant this fragrance is. If you're wearing this fragrance, you really need only a little bit because it's quite strong and it's quite intense. I would say that this is a fragrance for someone who feels very, very confident. I would say that this fragrance is going to work beautiful both for men and for women. I think this can be a very beautiful unisex fragrance. Here, you can feel the highest possible quality of the ingredients from the very, very first moment. This is a fragrance that contains the rare Bulgarian rose, and there are very few fragrances that contain Bulgarian rose oil because it is quite expensive. It's very, very expensive ingredient, but it's the kind of ingredient that I love to feel in a fragrance. And also it has patchouli, but it has that kind of a dark, deep, earthy, kind of patchouli vibe. It's not that really bright and very girly patchouli. This is definitely the kind of fragrance that you need to have the confidence to wear this fragrance. And it also has pink peppercorn. So you can feel all of these very high quality ingredients that are very well blended together. This would make a beautiful evening fragrance. Moving on to a very rich, woody, and kind of exotic oriental fragrance, and this is Emerald Rain. The limited edition bottle of this fragrance is absolutely stunning. I think that this is a very beautiful and very successful unisex fragrance. With fragrances, it all depends on your mood, and I don't think that we can really say that a certain fragrance is made for women or for men. With fragrances, it's all about how you feel. But this is a very, very beautiful, very strong and very confident fragrance. It has top notes of nutmeg, cardamom oil. It has violet leaves and sandalwood. It has also patchouli and benzoin. And again, the patchouli here is very dark, kind of deep patchouli vibe. It's a very sophisticated fragrance. It's a very elegant fragrance. This is a deep oriental fragrance that... So I personally wouldn't wear this fragrance every single day. I would probably wear this fragrance for more, I would say, for special occasions, kind of in the evening. And it's a very, very high quality fragrance. A little bit dark, very intense, and you have to be careful once again with this fragrance. Again, you have to be careful, no more than 2 sprays, and I assure that this is going to be enough because this is a very, very intense fragrance and you shouldn't apply too much. Moving on to another one of my favorites, and this is Chevaux D'or. And you guys, if you love roses, go ahead and check out this fragrance. This fragrance is for everyone who loves roses. From the very first spray of this fragrance, this is one of my favorites, definitely, because I love roses. And what I find very unique here is the first time when I spray this fragrance from the very beginning, I feel a very rare note. And this note is done in a way that I absolutely adore. And this is Bulgarian rose. Now, in the ingredients, it's listed that the opening starts with wild strawberry and magnolia. And then the heart notes are Turkish rose and black rose. Here, however, I definitely feel that beautiful Bulgarian rose note. Probably the ingredients blend in such a way that, or me personally, on my skin, when I spray this fragrance on my skin, I definitely get Bulgarian rose in its bloom. And you know how rare Bulgarian rose is as an ingredient in the perfume industry, and a lot of perfumers don't use Bulgarian rose. And I love when there is a Bulgarian rose in a fragrance because it's so sophisticated, so beautiful, and so particular. If you ever happen to go to Bulgaria and if you ever happen to go to Karlovo, definitely you have to see they have a lot of roses there, and the roses there smell exact the same way. I get that beautiful vibe here. And the base notes here are vanilla and sandalwood. So this is a very beautiful fragrance that I think is dedicated to roses. If you love roses and if you love strawberries, and if you like that beautiful kind of a mixture between magnolia, strawberry, a little bit of vanilla, but not too much, definitely go ahead and check out this fragrance. I think that this fragrance is quite unique. And the last fragrance that I'm going to talk about is Holiday. And you guys, the limited edition bottle of this fragrance is absolutely stunning. I was trying to detect why I find this fragrance to be so unique, and I find this fragrance kind of Christmassy. It has top notes of mandarin and orange, heart notes of peach and rose, and the base notes are vetiver and cedar. And I was trying to detect why this fragrance feels so special to me, and it's because it reminds me of Christmas, but it reminds me of Christmas when I was a child. It's not the kind of Christmas that now when I think of Christmas, I'm a little bit older and I think, well, pumpkin spice latte. It's not that kind of Christmas. It's the kind of Christmas that I remember from my childhood. It's the time of Christmas that there is a crisp weather and snow and you're playing in the snow. So there is a kind of freshness and it's very enchanting fragrance. And this fragrance is inspired by winter in New York City, and I can definitely say that the inspiration is great. I've been to New York in the winter, and you have that really crisp weather, especially when there is snow, and especially when it's snowing, so I definitely get that vibe. So here I almost don't get the rose. The notes that I feel mostly are the vetiver and mixed with a little bit of mandarin. And Yes, there is definitely a little bit of peach, but it gives me that really beautiful holiday vibe or very beautiful winter vibe. And sadly, that was the last fragrance of this video, and I really enjoyed filming this video. I can talk about fragrances for hours and hours. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you've tried Hauts of Sillage fragrances and let me know which one is your favorite. If you haven't tried Hauts of Sillage fragrances, let me know based on my description which one or which ones you think are going to be the right fragrances for you. As Hauts of Sillage is a brand that I truly love. I enjoy high quality fragrances and I feel extremely happy to own these fragrances in my collection. I cherish them a lot. I feel them very, very precious, and I'm really grateful that I was able to film this video because I really wanted to do this video so much and for such a long time, and it's a great gift for me that I was able to film this video today. So I hope you enjoyed it, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and tell me your favorite fragrance. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!